Tsukiya. This is President Enomoto. So please welcome with a round of applause. And his staff here. So this is President Enomoto. That's Chairman Enomoto that I'm there, and his staff. And thank you very much for coming. So actually, the reason why these gentlemen are here today is because of Mr. Goto down there. He's Minister Goto of Tokyo branch, and we have business relationships. Okay, so they supply us. Okay. Anyways, without further ado, we'll start out with the presentations. But we have one surprise for you. So it was really nice to bring some T-shirts and aprons. Okay. So these are some of the aprons.
These are the nice
and
aprons that you see them wearing.
You guys some T-shirts, and perhaps you'd like to try on the aprons. I don't know. Jeremy, this is XXL.
Easy there, killer.
Yeah, so
XL.
XL is good.
Yeah.
I can see that they only have L. Yeah. So please choose.
Yeah?
Really? Okay. All right.
Thank you. So Gail had a quick question about what the shirts and the T-shirts say. So the T-shirt is the name of the ramen shop. And then on the apron, you'll feel it's a really thick cloth, and so the people who are working at different shops actually carry, they're part of a working form. You can carry heavy things, they don't get your pants and stuff dirty. On here it says Tsukiya, and 100% domestic flour is being used for their ramen noodles. So it's the name of the restaurant, and then so inside here the key. This is the mark, his symbol that he's taken from the.
That's what's on our T-shirt.
This is the T-shirt, and you'll get the
For the restaurant.
Yes, this is the restaurant. The restaurant name, and this is also the restaurant name. And it says here they use 100% domestic Japanese flour. And Tsukiyo wa namai desu. The name of the restaurant. So his name is Enomoto. To bring, Tsu is for to bring things together. Ki is like good energy, and Ya is anything that we use for a store. So this is a ramen shop that brings good energy together.
And where is Tsukiya?
So it's a suburb of Tokyo called Musashi Urawa. It's not very far from here. Tokyo about 30 minutes north of Tokyo.
Beautiful. Good sleep shirt.
はい。じゃあもう始めてよろしいですね。よろしくお願いします。
Good morning.
はい。じゃあそのまま行っていただいて、はい。じゃあ私は榎本孝之と言います。
So this is Mr. Takei Enomoto-san.
はい。月屋の社長と、
So he's the president of the Tsukiya ramen shop.
まあ JREA ですね。
So he's also the executive director of this group called the Japan Ramen Engineer Association.
で少し自己紹介を。
So his brief introduction.
一番最初に始めたのは2001年3月に最初のラーメン屋を。
So he opened his first shop in 2001.
はい。あと立川ラーメンスクエ
And then
ア。
there's a ramen area west of the city, so he opened a second shop there in 2005.
豚骨月屋。
And then a second shop in Saitama,
今は
2006.
つけ麺
And then also Tsukemen, which is the dipping style of ramen noodles.
で会社は今月屋と月屋の社長とこれコンサルティングの会社
So he
です
also
ね
has a consulting company, これラーメン系。
飲食全体の
For not limited to ramen, but for dining restaurants.
とこれがラーメン専門
And
の
then he's
会社
ramen engineer.
はい、あとはグループですね。飲食店グループ
So he also has a dining group that he's also the chairman.
で、 研修の実績は、台湾の味の素さん
So
での
he's
研
also
修
worked with Ajinomoto in Taiwan,
あとは台湾の、大手の食品メーカーさんでの
and
ラ
then
ーメン
he's
の
also
実習を
worked
ですね
with ramen companies in Taiwan as well,
あとは味の素の東京支社さん
and
で
then
ラーメン
working
の
here
研
as
修
well.
あと他のセミナーではその接客セミナー
You can see he's done seminars not only about ramen, but about working with customers and customer
採用
service,
セミナー集客セミ
and
ナー
how to bring customers to your store.
あとはオンラインので
He's also,
接客のマスターの
he also has materials online about how to work with customers.
と、マネージャーの講座ですね
Also-
ゆで店長
For the managers, how to manage stores and restaurants.
で一般社団法人も今やっています。
これちょっと私
ですね
若干。
はい
So yes, as mentioned, he's also a part of the Japan Engineer Association. Enomoto-san and his brother, they're very enthusiastic about spreading ramen around the world. So he does these. He can do this presentation if requested, and so there'll be a package in case you want to invite him to the United States. He will be able to do this presentation, and of course he will bring along the stuff. So just for information.
Could you explain what you mean by engineer? So I'm a little confused by what it.
Maybe you-
エンジニアってあるんですけど、
はい
これはどういった意味のエンジニアなんでしょうか。
日本語のその技術者っていうことなんですけども、その技術っていうのは調理技術と接客技術とあと運営マネジメントの技術をすべて
So basically, it's about technology or know-how, and it's about cooking, and it's all about restaurant management, and
And then also managing the managers themselves, how the managers would manage the restaurant.
はいでこれが最初のお店の
So the
お
first
店です
restaurant
ね
that opened,
ここはラーメン
the basic ramen, standard
魚
ramen.
魚と豚骨のラーメン
So a double soup base of both seafood and the pork.
はいで次がこれが豚骨付き合いです
And
ね
then this is only the pork, the creamy pork ramen shop.
で
Second.
これが今つけ麺
And now the skemen, which is the dipping style of ramen.
で、これが、魚介豚骨魚介のダブルスープのラーメン
It's funny, in Japanese they say the letter W, which sounds like double. So here you see two soups, both the creamy pork and the seafood.
で豚骨醤油
So the creamy pork but with a soy sauce.
あとは、豚骨ですね塩の豚
The
骨
creamy pork but with salt.
とこれ野菜のポタージュと豚骨のスープ
So pork, creamy pork but also with a vegetable potage.
と、これは魚の澄んだラーメ
And
ン
the
ですね
clear seafood soup, so not creamy and seafood based.
でつけ麺
This is the dipping style noodles. So the noodles are cold, the dipping sauce is hot, and you would dip in and eat the.
で本当にたくさんの種類のラーメンを僕今、18年ラーメン屋をやってい
So he's
て
been making ramen for 18 years.
たくさんの、お店で出しているものとあとテストではもっとたくさんの
So you've got so many variations and styles of ramens that you can make. So he's also testing other styles inside his restaurant.
で、ここで動画ですかね、ちょっとお店の、
これちょっと説明しましょう。
あ、じゃあお願いします。はい。
Yeah, so, okay, so you may, this may seem familiar to you, but this is the movie Major League Baseball 3, and this is a Japanese comedian. And we just wanted to show a video. Yeah, so this is a video which shows this comedian visiting his store. So this is the comedian. So, yeah, it's,
国産小麦にこだわり、通常つけ麺には使わない超薄力粉を使用したスキヤの
so very, 薄力粉って何ですか?
Hard flour.
Yeah, with very small amounts of gluten. But as you can see, they're producing the noodles by themselves. But this television program is they brought him for a day, and he's working.
That's the comedian.
That's the comedian doing this.
Yeah, that's a comedian. Yes. So this is Enomoto-san teaching him.
So the technique for boiling the noodles and rinsing. That's about enough noodles for 3 people.
茹で上がった麺をすぐさま水で洗い、ぬめりを取り除きます。
They're taking out the stickiness.
感動する石橋さん。
Rinsing.
Yes.
They rinse in cold water?
Yes, this is the dipping style of it.
So you want to call it.
It's like gluten. つけ麺って常温ですよね。
そうですね。はい。
茹で上げた量を手早く器に盛っていきます。見事、これがプロの技。石橋さんもびっくりです。
So the professional just measure, feeding one, he got the right
石橋さんは何度か麺茹でを繰り返すうちにだいぶ上達したようです。石橋さん、仕事が楽しくなってきたのか、乗ってきたようです。
So that's a pound.
He's
Yeah.
given a big portion.
蘇生していた麺も
That's the extra large size.
上達。これには社長も社長の計らいで月夜の極みつけ麺をいただくことに。
So this is the dipping style. So the soup is really rich, and there's a nice texture to it. And his technique must be really good if he could accomplish this. Delicious.
美味しい、but he said うまい。うまいです。A bit of a casual way.
ありがとうございます。で、ここまでが、自己紹介。
So that's his introduction, his self-introduction.
で、そこからは、まずはラーメンの歴史ですね。
History of ramen.
はい。で、最初、明治時代に、中国から横浜とか神戸の港町に入ってき
So
て、
we had Chinatowns in both Yokohama near Tokyo and in Kobe near Osaka. And in the Meiji period, so during this time, the ramen restaurants, they believe, first started in Japan in these Chinatown areas.
でそれに、煮干しとか海苔とかっていう日本のものが加わってラーメンに変わっていく。
So the
日
Japanese
本のラーメンに。
twist on the ramen was that the Japanese used the dried sardines here, and also the seaweed, and then this fish cake called naruto. So it was a Chinese-based dish, but the Japanese put their flavor on it.
で、初めてのラーメン屋さんが、1910年。
So the very first store in Tokyo, 1910,
で、豚骨と鶏ガラのスープの醤油ラ
and
ーメ
it
ン。
was tonkotsu, the pork and chicken, in Asakusa, where we were yesterday, called Daigaken.
はい。で、そこからだんだんと、次ですね。北方ラーメン、
So here you have the different other styles.
九州のラーメン、
These are all different regional cities outside of Tokyo when they started serving
札
ramen.
幌
And you see their different flavors as well. So Sapporo had a
で、い
miso.
ろいろこうだんだんと。
Yeah.
で、どんどんこう多様化していきますね
So。now you see the style of ramen also developed over that time.
で、さらに言ったらもっと最近はもっと多様化が
And
進
lately
ん
you
でいます。
really have a wide variety of ramen being served, starting lately, so since the mid-90s. So these are regional styles or different shops in Tokyo will each have their own. This is pineapple in it, this is a vegetarian, a very spicy one.
ラーメンは非常にこう大きなゲームを持っていますね。
So
はい。
basically it's unlimited, the type of ramen styles that you could make. So these are the styles you'll see in Hokkaido.
で、これが今歴史で、これがご当地ラーメンです
So
ね。
these are regional ramen styles.
So what is consistent among all ramen? It's always noodles and broth.
すべてのラーメンは何が同じことありますか？麺と。
それがこの後ラーメンの方程式。
He's going to explain it when
Okay.
later, so it's a good question, but he'll answer more detail. Hokkaido is known for miso, butter, and corn.
そうですね。
This is the tohoku, so just south. We're seeing a map of Japan there, so just south of their styles here. Sometimes the shape of the noodles will change. The the Tokyo style,
横浜ス
the
タイル、
Yokohama style,
これ佐野ラー
and this is Sano, just north of us in Tochigi. And this is the middle part of
メン、
Japan.
これすごい黒い、
This is
富
very
山のラーメン
interesting.
で
It's
す。
a
富山
black
が
ramen.
黒は何の黒ですか？
醤油ですね。
So it's soy sauce. The color in this black is from soy sauce.
で
This is
京都、
the
京都
Kyoto
の
style.
和歌山か
And Wakayama near Kyoto. You can see how thin the noodles here are, right? So the styles change.
な。で、これは徳島。
And this is the island of Shikoku. So they actually put a raw egg yolk on top of the ramen.
これはこう背脂っていう。
So this is actually, it's hard to see, but these little white parts, it's the back fat. Actual back fat of the pork that's in the, on top as the topping.
で、これが、豚骨ラーメン。
So the classic style, when we think of tonkotsu ramen, we think of Hakata, which is in Fukuoka, the southern island of Japan, Kyushu. So this is like the standard tonkotsu, creamy pork ramen.
で、熊本はこのマー油っていう黒いニンニクの油が。
So Kumamoto, also in the same region, has this same basic creamy pork, but then they put this black oil on it that's made from garlic and leeks that have been cooked in there.
Like fermented
Not the
garlic?
black garlic,
Oh, not
no.
Chinese, okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
how's
the
it?
black color comes from the leeks. 前作る時はどうやってその色を見ながら。
油を焦げるまで、ニンニクを焦げるま
So
で。
they actually burn the, or they keep cooking the garlic until it turns black. So that it's white when they put it in, and then they keep cooking it until it burns.
最後にミキサーで。
And then they mix it up in a blender.
で、次がラーメンの概要ですね。で、これが組み立てです。ラーメンはスープ、タレ、香味油、具、麺の5つのパーツ。
So these are the parts, this is Kathleen's question. These are what you'll see when you put together the ramen. So the soup, the sauce, and infused oil toppings and noodles.
で
And
これをちゃんと守らないとラーメンから出てきてしまう。
if you don't follow these basics, then you can't call it ramen. It's not considered to be ramen.
で、はい、スープ、タレ、順番ですね。
So there's a-
組み立て、スープ、タレ、で、麺、オイル。
So if you looked at the side of the ramen from the side, these are the ingredients that you'll have and how they would be in the bowl,
In the order.
in the order two, one, two,
That's
three.
the order.
So noodles and
What is the sauce of?
The tare? Tare はこれから説明。
あ、しますね。
Okay,
はい
we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So good.
で、丼のラーメンの丼作る順番です。
So there is the order in which you put the ingredients in.
丼にタレ
So
を
in
入
your
れ
right,
て
in the ramen bowl, you first start with the tare, which is this concentrated sauce. Then the infused oil, the soup, your noodles,
で、
and then you put the toppings on. Do you want to start? Yeah. Okay, everybody got their phones.
こ
Okay.
れ後で実際やるところを見せて。
あ、わかりました。はい。
He's going to show you later exactly how it's assembled. You'll see that.
で、これですね、そのタレを入れて、油を入れて、スープを注ぐと、こう油の膜ができ
So
て、
once you get to the first three, you're going to be about here with all your liquid ingredients.
ちょっと混ざった油。
And then on top, you have this oil that's going to come up on top from the infused oil and maybe from the soup.
で、そこに麺が入ると、
And then you,
麺をこうコーティングして、
so when you put the cooked noodles inside there, when it falls down into the soup, it'll actually go through a layer of fat or oil that's on the top. So it actually coats the noodles as it goes in.
で、揚げるときまた、
Also, when you eat, it'll come back through the noodles, that oil again, so it's adding this coating to the.
あまり分かってる人は多くないんですけど、この香味油すごく重要。
So many people may not understand that this infused oil is a key part of making the ramen.
例えばその、例えばファンタオレンジは香りだけがオレンジですね。
So Fanta orange, the drink, actually, it's just the aroma that's orange.
味はオレンジの味が
It
違い。
actually doesn't taste like orange. It's the aroma that you smell, and so you think you're drinking orange flavored soda, but
砂
it's
糖、
just the
砂糖
aroma.
水にフレーバーだけです
So very interesting. It's just sugar, sparkling water with orange seasoning.
香りはすごく味覚に影響する。
So your nose is so intelligent that it makes your mouth feel like you're drinking orange soda, but you're actually just drinking soda, simple syrup soda.
で次は今度は、スープを細かくしていきます。
So now for making the soup,
でスープは、チンタンとパイタン。
so there are two types. The chintan, which is the clear soup, and the paitan, which you hear a lot, is the creamy soup.
で
あと、火が違う。
そうですね。
So to do the creamy soup, which is the paitan style, you need a very high heat. If you want to keep a clear soup, Enomoto-san says a very low simmer.
で、スープまた分けると動物系と魚介系と
So we have three basic types of soup: animals, seafood, or vegetable.
これは全部組み合わせます
And
ね。
of course, you can combine these together if you want.
はい、で、はい。で豚は
So pork, chicken. これ珍しい？そっちの方。
そうですね、すごく珍しいです、ね。
So a little bit unusual, but you could also have beef, horse, or other types of land animals.
豚と鶏が
Pork and chicken are the basic, what you usually find.
で、豚は頭、背骨、
So these are the parts of the pork that they're using when they make the soup.
げんこつ、
So the head, the bones, the knuckles, the porks, the pig's feet, and also the back fat.
今写真が出ます。
The picture is going to come up here.
これげんこつ。
So those are the
大丈夫
knuckles.
かな？
Yeah,
大丈夫ですか？
the head, the back fat, the pig's feet, and that's the bone inside.
So that's, you're using these pieces to make the broth.
The soup bowl is good to cook.
スープを作る。
So he makes a soup.
Well, because you already, you start with the dashi, right?
これだしはこれはだし
これを鍋に入れて煮てパイタンスープ。
これと水最初は。
はい、そうです。
So just these pork ingredients and water will go into the pot at first, and then he's going to cook that and make a soup.
Whereas the sauce, which will come later, that's where like the soy sauce and MSG.
Okay.
これがげんこつは、髄の旨味が出るんですね。
髄
髄、骨の中の
So the I'm sorry.
The extracts from
The extracts.
bone marrow.
Yeah, bone marrow and stuff. You get the umami from the bone marrow here.
これはやっぱり脳の旨味で
There's
すね。
actually umami in the brains from the head.
で、豚足はコラーゲン。
The pig's feet are rich in gelatin, so collagen.
これはやっぱり骨よりも肉がたくさんついてる
So
ので、
there's a lot of meat actually left over on the bones here, so you get a lot of umami from
肉
the
から旨
meat.
味が出ますね。はい
And then the pork fat, of course, is also adding
甘い
umami.
ですね。
And a sweet umami is added from
Does
the.
he ever use oxtail?
Yeah, 牛の尻尾は使う？
もう使います。
Yes,
はい
he does use
でも
it.
あまり使わないです
But
ね。
not a lot, but he does use it.
Really?
そう、日
The
本は
problem
牛は高い。
in Japan, it's very expensive. The
Same in the
oxtail.
US, yeah.
アメリカも高い。
で、チキンです
So
ね。
the chicken, what he's
ま
using,
丸鶏、
the
鶏が
whole
もう
chicken, chicken bones, chicken feet, and the chicken fat.
はい。で、
These are the parts of the chicken.
やっぱりパーツによって全然味が
And of course, same with the pork, depending on what part you're using, you'll get different flavors.
で、基本はだから全部組み合わせます。
So you're constantly combining different parts of the animals to get different types of umami.
で
So here too on the
はい
beef, so you see the beef shank, the tendon, oxtail, and the beef fat towel. This is the pork, the beef section, so here's your oxtail. Okay.
で、魚介ですね。
Seafood.
魚介は乾いてるものと生きてるもの、鮮魚です
So
ね。
he's using both dried and fresh seafood.
And as we all know, dried 乾いてると乾燥してると旨味が高いですね。
So you get more umami in the dried ingredients than you would in the fresh seafood.
で、これは乾いてる。
So these are the dried, your kombu on the bottom, of course, we know. Katsuobushi, which we saw yesterday.
これはサンマの。
So this is a dried Pacific celery, and then this is the dried sardines.
特に昆布はこだわりっていうのはあるんですか？ラーメン。
やっぱり利尻とラオスじゃ全然出方が違うので、それに合わせて使える。
So the question came about kombu. Do you have any preferences? Dishiri, no daosu. So he's using both dishiri and daosu, which are the two regional styles of kombu, and doing a combination of that.
So they're different. So depending upon what the chef would want, they would use by the.
These are also your dried.
ホタテ、
So dried scallops.
ウルメ、
This is a type of sardine.
Ka-
Sardine. The dried oysters, dried shrimp,
ですね。はい。で、鮮魚ですね。
and then the seafood
うん
again.
はい。
So here are your fresh seafood.
で、あとは野菜です
So
ね。
the vegetable based. You see the
Excellent.
leeks, onions, carrots. Yeah.
で、で、はい。
So now the sauce. So this is the tare, which adds to the soup.
が、はい、醤油、塩、味噌が大体ラーメンの種類ですね。
And miso are the three basic standards that we'll use.
There are different types. There's soya sauce ramen, salt ramen, and miso ramen. ということです。
はい、で醤油もたくさん。
So there are actually
はい
different types of soy sauces as well. So depending on what type of a flavor you're looking for. These are the basic types of soy sauce. So white, light, which is lighter in color but actually has more sodium, salt to it. Dark, tamari, which sometimes has the image of being only from flour, but in Japan sometimes, I'm sorry,
No,
only
no
from
flour.
only from soybeans.
Soy.
But sometimes there is flour, wheat in there, so you have to be careful. And then sai shikomi, which is a re-fermented soy sauce.
Is that the fish sauce?
It's not a fish sauce, it's a soy sauce, yeah.
で、塩ですね。
And there are also different types of salts.
まあ、
So
大
sea
きく分
salt,
けるとやっぱり海の塩
so
が
the sea salt,
まあ、岩塩ですね。
the rock
あと
salt,
生鮮ですね
and。then the manufactured salt.
味が全然違いますね。で、味噌もたくさん。
Also, there are different types of misos that can be used, and each miso, as you know, have different flavors.
で、味噌はこう、味噌もたくさんあって、米味噌、麦味噌、赤味噌、白味噌。
And these are some of the types of misos that you'll
これは
find.
京都の味噌、すごい甘い。
The Kyoto miso, Saikyo miso, has a high proportion of rice, so it's naturally very sweet.
でこれは八丁味噌、すごく辛いですね。名古
From
屋の。
Nagoya, the hacho miso, which is only soybeans, is very rich in flavor, very intense.
あと、まあ、タレは他には砂糖、みりん、酢、酒。
So other things you could add to the tare, so sugar, meaning vinegar, sake.
であとはその、まあ、塩味噌、醤油以外の旨味。
So other ways to add umami besides the miso and the soy sauce. Here are some ingredients that you could use to add to the tare.
あと野菜も使いますね
And。the
まあ、あと
vegetables as、
まあ、
well.
これがすごく重要なポイントですね。
Also very important,
うん
the umami seasoning.
やっぱりすごくその安定、すごく材料によってスープがぶれるので、
So depending on what produce and things you're using, the flavor can actually change very day to day. だからこれを
すごい
使う。
安定しますね。
So if you add this umami seasoning to the soup or to the tare, it helps bring it together all the time. It kind of helps stabilize the tare in the kitchen.
あと油です
And
ね。
then the infused oil.
油は動物系だとラード、
So for the animal-based,
背
lard,
脂
pork fat,
鶏油
chicken fat,
です
beef.
ね。これは精製したラードですね。
This is the lard.
これは背脂の、
That's
まあ、
the
ラーメンになってる。
Back fat from the pork on top of the ramen, so it's broken up. This is before it's cooked, so before and after.
これはチキンの。
Chicken fat,
これが牛ですね。
and then the beef tallow.
あと植物、ね。
Of course, there are also plant-based oils, so soybean, sesame, unroasted sesame, and olive oil.
で今日はその豚骨ラーメンとあと商品大丈夫なんですよね。あ、テイスティングってことはね。豚骨ラーメンと野菜のラーメンを作るので、豚骨ラーメンにはラードが乗っていて、野菜のラーメンにはちょっと言っていいですか。このごま油のタイプ。
白い方. So today we're going to try two ramens. One is the tonkotsu, so that's using lard, has the fat. For the vegetable one, he's using the sesame oil. It's a clear sesame oil. It's unroasted, so it doesn't have that intense flavor that you're probably used to with the roasted sesame oil.
で、その油の種類プラス素材の。
So you can also intensify the oil by adding different seasonings here, infusing the oils.
でこの香りですごく味
And then
が
also, the aroma will change, and as he said, as the aroma changes, the flavor will change as well.
煮干し
So the dried sardines,
ニンニク
garlic,
ネギ
the leeks.
これはマー油
This
で
is
すね
that, the garlic and the leeks that have been,
Ebi.
dried shrimp.
あとホタテですね
And these are scallops. Nama, hoshita.
干しです
So
ね
dried scallops that have been broken up and then infused in the oil.
So he infuses them and strains it.
これをつけてから出すこの
Well, for all of them,
すべて
中身ですか
この具は味付けからこれも使わない？
上澄みだけ入れる場合と全部入れる場合
So places where he does use it and he won't use it, so depending on the ramen.
であとはトッピングで
And
す
then
ね
the topping, so
はい
this is
で
on
チャー
top
シューも
of
たくさんある
So
メインは
of course
チャーシュー
the pork.
ですね
The roast pork shoulder or roast pork is a very popular topping. Also you have
はいいろい
the fermented bamboo shoots, the egg, green onions, wood ear mushrooms, spinach onions.
Can you talk to us, maybe he's talking about this later,
Yeah.
but about the process of the marinated egg, how he makes the egg and that
後で味
perfect.
玉の説明してほしい。
味玉ですねはい
今大丈夫？ Okay. So he'll explain now. 味玉の作り方は、
味玉の作り方は、
は
卵を
はい。
6分30秒ぐらい
So he cooks the egg for 6 minutes 30 seconds.
ごめんなさい、それは
沸騰してる
You put it into boil, it creates
Yeah,
existing
yeah.
boiling water, six and a half
Yeah,
minutes.
so boil the water, add the egg 6
た
minutes
だ
30
その
seconds.
卵の温度にもより
But
ます
also depends on the temperature of the egg. じゃあお常温だったら、
常温だったら常温だったらもう少し短く
Okay, so if the じゃあ冷蔵庫から出したは6
そうですね
So if you
はい
pull the eggs out of the refrigerator, 6 minutes 30 seconds in boiling
あと
water.
は黄身の
So when they're cold.
黄身のお好みですね
Yeah, and then it
日
also
本で
depends
はすご
on.
くそのとろっとしたの
So
が
of
今
course the
人気だから
Japanese love that creamy egg yolk that's not very cooked. So he would cook it on the lower side. If your eggs are at room temperature and you put it in boiling water, then he said you want to shorten that
Less
6
time.
minute 30
Got
minute.
it.
で、水にあげて氷水ですぐ
So
冷や
put it
し
in
て
cold ice water
Maybe.
at first and peel. So you want to shock it in ice, peel.
剥いてでタレにつけますタレは大体醤油に昆布みりんで、それを少し水で薄めたものです
So his special sauce for marinating the eggs, soy sauce, kombu, and mirin, and with just a little bit of water. They don't
What's the third ingredient?
Called mirin, the sweet sake.
Mirin.
Oh, mirin, okay, excuse me.
Mirin. どのぐらいつけますか？
薄いタレで一晩
So if it's a
濃いタレで3時間とかっていうのを調整できますね
一番短いは
一番短いのはもう本当に水を入れない醤油につければ、20分
So you
ぐらい
could marinate for as little as 20 minutes, but you could also go overnight. So depending on how much of a flavor you
ゆっ
want to
く
add
りゆっ
to
く
the.
りやれば芯まで白身が全部色がつき
So if you let it marinate for a long time, the whites of the egg will actually change color and
Right,
go all
right.
the way in.
And you said that it depends upon the dilution of the
Of the
flavor. So
solution.
if, yeah, so if it's like diluted, then you can leave it there for one night. Whereas if you have a really
Concentrated.
concentrated combination, it could be as short as 20 minutes.
Beautiful.
今結構アメリカで人気あるこの味玉。I was just telling him it's very popular now this season, egg with the
Very
jammy
popular.
yolk inside. Yeah.
だからそうですね黄身の
But
硬
there's
さは時
differences
間
in
の
how
調整
they
ですね
marinate them, so I was
Oh.
curious.
黄身の硬さは時間の調整
And then of course
で、
if you
何
want
回かやれば
the yolk harder, you would just cook it a little bit longer.
And I may want to say that the combination of eggs and Ajinomoto is just divine.
Oh, there's no question.
I had to put that in.
Okay.
あとは味玉はハイミーを入れると美味しいです
Also, I don't know if you know Jaime, but it's maybe you can explain better than.
Yes, it's a combination of MSG and Nicotides. Yes.
So it's and so Enomoto-san was saying Jaime is also very good to use with the egg.
Jaime is a product
In the
where
marination or after?
Tare ni.
Tare ni.
Yeah, in the marinade.
In the
marinade. So soy sauce, kombu, the mirin, which is the sweet sake, and the Jaime or the MSG.
Jaime, I think Jaime っていうカツサンの Yeah, so Jaime is the MSG with a higher content of nucleotides in it. It has 8%. So if you want more nucleotides in your MSG, then you buy Jaime.
ありがとうございます。
でまあそうですね、チャーシュー
So here you see the different toppings, the pork,
ですね。はい。
simmered pork, the bamboo shoots, the wood ear mushrooms, spinach.
はい。であとは麺です
So
ね。
now the noodles.
麺は太さがたくさんあ
So
り
there are
ます
many different types of thicknesses that you can do.
あと今日は細麺と太麺とあと縮れ太い縮れ
じゃあ3種類。
はい。
So there are, of course, different thicknesses, but also different shapes. So curly, straight, flat. And so today we're going to do hosomen, which is the thin noodles, futomen, which is the thick noodles, and chijimi, which are the crunchy or curly noodles.
まあ太さもすごい幅が広い
And
し
of course, with the thickness, you can go. There's a wide variation from super thin to very
で
thick.
ストレート縮れもあるし
Also-
水の量にもよっても全然違いますね。
Another thing, yeah, down here. So depending on how much water you put in the flour when you're making the noodles, the texture will change. And there's a big variation that you can do from 25 to 43% water to the flour.
Is the flour consistent? No.
No.
There you go.
Yeah, so you,
でまあ麺は小麦粉と乾水と水と塩。
so you have the flour kansui, which is a bicarbonate, sodium, potassium, water, hard or soft, this different salts. And 今質問があって、
はい、
小麦粉は一つ種類じゃなくていろんな種類。
そうですね。うちは3種類混
So
ぜてます。
actually at his restaurant, he's blending 3 different flours to get the right texture.
でそれはあれですよね、つけ麺もしくは豚骨があって、要するにそれぞれこだわりとか。
そうですね。やっぱりラーメンに合わせて麺を。
So he's changing the noodle depending on if it's going to be in the soup or the dipping style or whatever. So the noodle will change based on what type of ramen.
But it's a wheat base.
Komugi.
Wheat.
Komugi.
Yeah, so
So
white
not a
wheat.
big drive for gluten-free in Japan?
Rice noodles are like different.
今アメリカで小麦粉を食べられない人が結構あるけど、日本はそんなに。
今でもそのグルテンフリーっていうのは日本もすごく増えてます
So
ね。
lately you're seeing more requests for gluten-free, but it's only in
まあ
very
米
recent.
粉を使ったりとかもし
So there is actually a rice flour that can be used for making ramen noodles. お店には出
お
して
店は今は出して
So
ない
right now he's not, he's still serving the flour only. And again, the different types of flours.
でその前に結局すごくたくさんもう本当にたくさんあってでそれを全部掛け算なんでたくさんかけていくのですごく無限の
麺の種類。
麺も具もスープもタレも
Yeah. So he's saying when you create a bowl of ramen, if you figured out all the different variations that you could do with the noodles, with the soup, everything, it's basically unlimited because there's so many different toppings, you could do everything. So,
ただその5つのパーツ
but you do need those 5 basic parts that we talked about.
を整理してどれを使うか選んでです
Garlic is always a part of it.
ねでちょっと戻ってもらってすごく売れるラーメンの
So these are ramens that are very popular that most customers will like.
で塩気で
So
す
they
ね
have to have some saltiness to it, salinity,
割と塩分が高いも
and
のが
actually quite salty
うん
is preferred.
油も多い方
A lot of fat is preferred over less fat.
で旨味も
Of
そう
course,
ですね
umami is very
う
key
ん
to ramen,
でやっぱりその例えばやっぱり味の素っていうのはすごくポイント
and using the ajinomoto is a key point for his ramen.
特にその博多のラーメンは鶏を使わないんですね豚だけのスープを取るのでそうするとスープがイノシン酸しか
So in the tonkotsu style from Hakata, which is the creamy pork, it's only made with pork, and so there's only inosinates in there. So this is a type of umami. But yesterday, Ninomiya-san was explaining to me that if you taste inosinate by itself, you can't taste it. You do need some glutamates in order to have that added flavor of the umami. So
イノシン酸とグルタミン酸。
So you need the inosinates will come in your pork stock, but if you don't add the MSG, the glutamates to it, then you won't get that delicious flavor. So it's essential that you add that.
あとガーリックですね。
Garlic is
ニンニク
also
の
very
方が
popular.
すごく重要ですね。あとは温度、日本ではラーメンは温度が高ければ高い
So
ほど。
in Japan, the ramen bowls are usually very, very hot. So that's how the customer in Japan expects to get their
う
noodles.
ん、これはその美味しいと売れるラーメンは
So
熱い必要が。
These are
日本
his 5 key points for making very popular and successful ramen.
ただ、今日本以外ではちょっとわからないです。
He doesn't know how it is outside of Japan, but for selling ramen in Japan.
ダラスのラーメン屋さん僕。
So he went to Dallas, Texas and had
は
ramen.
い。やっぱり温度すごく低い。
So he was surprised because the temperature was quite low. It wasn't as hot as he's
Hence
expected.
the slurping.
うん、
あとみんな、つるつる
そうです。
食べる食べない
食べない。
So in America, they're not slurping. どうして
あすすると香りが鼻に抜けるんですね。
So one thing is when you're slurping ramen, it actually helps you enjoy the aroma better because you're breathing it in. You're gonna get the aroma.
でこれはざるそばも同じで。
And it's also the same with soba buckwheat noodles that you dip in sauce and you slurp.
Ask him, does he keep his bowls hot somewhere, or is he just
Before
going
he
so
serves?
fast that
Oh.
it's staying
In
that hot?
service.
Yeah.
ラーメンのボウル、お客様あげる前に作る前に熱くしているもう常温で
熱いですね。
例えばオーブンに入れて。
うちのお店はその麺を茹でる茹で麺と丼温める2つあって、もう沸騰100度のお湯に入れてます。
使う前に
いやもう入れっぱなしでずっと
で出して
トングで取って。
So he actually puts his bowls in hot water
Boiling
and at boiling water.
Oh.
And when you order, then they use tongs. It's so hot he can't pull it out. Uses tongs to pull it out. And
Yeah,
then-
that's probably a big reason why he can keep it so hot.
だからもしかして日本のラーメンが熱い。
But we have plate heaters and we keep our plates.
Yeah, I mean,
off, but it's
we're
not-
doing a broth right now, but we're not keeping the bowls hot, and that's why I'm wondering why
彼
we're.
はスープを作ってるけど、
Yeah.
ね
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
ボウルは熱くしてないから多分それでね温度が下
そう
げてる
ですね
かな。。
でもだからそれが本当にその日本では高い温度が必要なんだけ
Yeah,
ども。
so but in Japan you have this, you expect the ramen to be
Right, right.
super hot.
I
so
agree
it's part of
100%.
it, Yeah.
でうちはそのこう丼が熱いのでこうスタッフが持って行って
はい。
お客様が触るとわーって後で熱い。
So the staff, when they bring it to the customer and gives it to them, the
Mm.
customer touches the bowl, they're always surprised that it's so hot.
だからそのスタッフがなんであれを手で持ってきてるのかがわからない。
And the customer's always wondering, how did the staff just carry this to my plate without gloves or anything? So もう慣れてるから、
そうですね。
so they're used to the heat, so they can carry it to the customer.
ものすごい熱いで
It's
す。
super, super hot.
He mentioned the ramen in Dallas, Texas. Does he happen to know, like, when did that packaged ramen in the U.S. start? I know it does a terrible disservice to ramen, but
The
you know, like that packaged ramen.
The
instant
dry-
ramen?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just think that's what I
インスタントラーメンアメリカでいつから
日清と味の素が業務提携して、したんですけど、それがいつかっていうのをちょっと、調べてみます。
somebody will look up when,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's what Americans think of as ramen, those little packages
Terrible.
that's very high in sodium and the little squiggly
アメリカで
noodles.
は
But that is
その
very,
インスタント
very
ラーメンが
popular here
大体
too. I mean,
そういうイメージ。皆さんがラーメンって彼女。
yeah, no, that's a big piece of ramen culture here too, right? On
Yeah.
the go still.
Yes.
Everywhere, I mean.
Everything,
China,
everything, yeah, all over
everywhere.
Asia, right?
Really?
Europe,
Sure,
Middle
that's
East.
it's like that's the original grab and go
Yeah, fast
food.
fast food. 今日本でも人気あるまだその
そうですね。はい、そういう意味であります。はい
But very different than what he
Yeah.
does.
でもやっぱ
obviously.
り
But I would assume it's a big
お店の
cornerstone
ラ
of
ーメ
what
ン
you
と全然
guys do
違
as
う
well. You
彼
make it.
女が
Yeah, I mean, Nissin is Mr. Ando is the person who invented instant noodles. It started from Japan. Yes.
Momofuku and
Yeah.
the name Momofuku from
Yeah.
David Chang
Yeah,
restaurant.
Lucky.
Yeah.
He was the creator of instant ramen. Ando-san, but Momofuku is his first name.
In, when was that, what year? In the 60s?
60s?
Yeah, I mean,
50年
when was it?
この前
It was like
朝ドラによく出たんだけど、
And
い
where
つ
did he
56あ、戦争後だから45?
yeah.
Yeah. So,
So
it was,
after the war,
it was
everybody was-
post-war when flour was brought in very cheap. And, yeah.
Everyone was malnutrition. He wanted to, he wanted everybody to have something nutritious but easy to make.
Right.
And so he was thinking of how to dehydrate it, and he came up with the idea of frying the noodles and attaching the soup.
A powder,
Yeah.
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 And shelf stable so that it could keep, it didn't have
Back
to be
then the soup
refrigerated.
was with the noodles, but later on it became the pot.
right.
College
Seems
students.
like a
That's
bit
it,
similar.
that's it.
Yeah,
Here too.
That's what I
Everybody.
was
Yeah.
thinking of, but I didn't.
And they're so cheap.
社長すみません、売れるラーメンのもう一つの面白いところっていうのは、多分お客様のその特別の要求を聞き入れて、油の量とか麺の形
それもありますね。はい、そうですね。ここのところを、油多め、味濃いめ、薄め、麺の固めとかっていうののこうオーダーは選べる。うちはラーメンは選べますね。つけ麺は固めはやってます。でも選べます。多めもできます。はい。
ごめんなさい、油選べると、
味の濃さ。
So actually, at Enomoto-san's restaurant, when you place your order for ramen, you can request if you want extra oil or less oil, also more stronger flavor, lighter.
多くのラーメン屋さんがそれを。
And actually, many restaurants now serving ramen will let the customer decide, would you like extra oil or less oil? Would you want it more concentrated or lighter flavor?
People are very fussy about the stiffness, hardness of the noodles. Yeah.
Has to be
Because-
perfect.
Yeah, so they would say al dente or not, and then they would listen to the customer and serve it accordingly.
What's the price range?
大体1ボールはいくらぐらい
600円から980円。
So 980. So about $6 to $10.
Okay.
And we don't tip in Japan, remember
Right.
that. So,
そうですね。
で、あとはこれはちょっと営業のそのラーメン屋のオペレーションですね、スープの取り方。
if you're a restaurant owner operating, these are the processes for making soup in the restaurant.
その昼間の 10時から夜24時までずーっ
So
と
this is start opening at 10 a.m. going until midnight.
3つのやり方が1本の寸胴を完成させてそれを抜いて冷やして温める。
So you have the one pot, this is for the soup. And you remove that and you're using that.
あとは、もう一つ目はこうスープを作りながらどんどん作る。
So also he's making soup at the same time. So you have soup that's been used for service. You're making soup. その今作ってるスープは明日のため
スープはこのまま使うんですけど、こっちにこう次のスープ。
Okay,
こ
so
っちに次のスープ。
so he's actually got 3 stages of the soup going on at each time.
で、ここのスープをラーメン作った
So
ら
the soup that he's using that's going out to the customer.
減った分をここのスープから
So as this volume goes down, he's picking from the second pot and going into the service pot.
で、ここのスープをもう一回こっちに。
And then he's taking from the third pot, moving down. So he's constantly replenishing the
で、
soup
ここの
pots.
寸胴に水を。
一番最後.
はい。
So this last pot that's the freshest soup, he's constantly adding water to that as that level goes down. So he's managing the.
And is
three
it,
different
when it,
soups.
as it's, the level's going down, it's also on the heat, so is it reducing and concentrating
So-
in its flavor as well?
水つけてる時はまだ火がついてる。
火がついてます。
Yeah, of course, the flavor,
Right,
the
to keep
fire is
it.
still on. だからその味が薄っぽくなる。
そうですね、それはまたこれが終わったらこっちに移っていくんですけども、
ちょっとわかんない、ごめんなさい。
これが営業スープ。
はい。So
で
here's,
これ明日のスープ、
はい。
明後日のスープ。
So basically, you have today's soup, tomorrow's soup, and the soup that's going to be for two days from now.
で、ここに水を入れて、
So you're adding water here. Hey, please.
こう移していきますね。
Am I confusing?
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused too. So この水量はいつも
いっぱいにしていき
いっ
ます。
ぱいで、 例えばここ
それはなぜかというと、ここの営業スープに水を入れると薄くなってし
So
まう。
of course he can't add water to the service pot
Right.
because you don't want to change that thing.
置いて
で、この3番目のことからスープ出すときと、
はい
また水入れる、
はい入れ
この
ます
味が薄くならない？
それがこれが終わって
はい。
あさってまでにまだ濃くなる。使うのはあさってなる。
あれですよね、ポイントはブリッツのあれレベルを維持するっていう
そうですね。
So
はい
no okay.
はい。
So, I think they control the bricks. You will see later in the
There's a-
video on the level in which they concentrate it.
I see.
So, to be honest with you, I'm a bit confused myself.
Okay, it's
But
okay.
what they try to do is, I think, to constantly control the density while, of course, maintaining deliciousness as
Right,
much as possible.
right.
Probably I can figure it out and then explain
We'll
later.
see it. Yeah, no problem. We don't need
まあ
to dwell on it.
意味はその安定したスープを長い時間はでそれしかも売上配数にもよって
So
変わってくるので、そのこのスープのオペレーションは非常に複雑で非常に難しい
the,
です。
the challenge with being a ramen shop owner is you need to manage, of course, your inventory and the customers. But this managing the 3 pots is a
Right. Yeah, no, yeah.
complicated
I
part.
get it.
I think it's to stabilize as much as possible, and it's really difficult because there could be a, what's the word?
Inconsistency.
Inconsistency in the
You
amount
have
of
to, well, that's
people,
part of the challenge, is always gonna be
Yeah.
maintaining that exact same flavor day to
That's
day
right.
in the different
That's right.
pots, so managing the water level, the reduction, but getting as much flavor out of it.
Exactly. で、喉系はその3番目の
うん
スープで使ってる？
使わないですね。
じゃあ
3番目
一番目
1番目だけ。
So there is a, when you make wine, you use a bricks, you check the
Right.
bricks
Sweetness.
for the sugar. In ramen, you can check the density. And so I asked him, are you using it on this first pot? He said, no, just the last pot. So there's a consistent
There's a
level he
control.
wants that. So
And it's
you
still
can-
the same bricks measurement?
It's not a bricks.
It's not bricks, but it's
a-
another machine.
It's another
like it.
machine that'll check the
Cool.
thickness. だからこの3番目は、because then you don't have to be so concerned with this new
First
soup that
one.
you're making,
Yeah.
because
Right,
eventually you're
right.
gonna control it. Yeah.
Okay.
ありがとう。
大丈夫ですか。
Alright.
はい
あり
こ
がとう
れはラーメンの知識というよりもラーメン屋になるための知識なので、
So this is what you need to know for making the soup.
はい。で、
So again, this is the soup, the tonkotsu will be the
Tonkotsu
pork,
ですね。
so this is based on using pork ingredients.
洗う、
So you wash the ingredients,
血抜
you
き、
get rid of any blood,
煮る。
you
Yeah.
simmer it.
Does he boil the bones to draw the blood out, or he's just
血
rinsing?
抜きするときは水、冷たい水で、
血抜きは3つあります。
はい
1つは水に一晩つけて
So
おく。
the first step is to soak the bones in water overnight to get rid of the blood.
Okay.
That's the first
2つ
step.
目は、煮て、
And then you simmer is the second step.
で、お湯を全部捨てて、
And then you get rid of that
Strain that
water,
out.
yeah.
そこでもう一回洗って、
And then you wash again. この洗うときは
水で。
Then you, after you boiled and you got rid of that water, then you rinse in water again.
Yep. Okay.
あとは、洗わない方法、入れて、アクだけ抜く。
And then the third process is boiling it again, and then you remove any scum that comes out. So 3 times.
でそれが一番旨味が、
That's the best way to get the thick umami from that.
3つあります。
So those are the 3 steps.
I was doing it right.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Goodness.
やり方やってるからよかったって。
Yes.
はい。じゃあ、今日の豚骨スープの
So
作っ
for
た
the,
ビデオなんで
he's
す。
gonna show you the pork,
こんに
making
ちは。
the pork, creamy pork
本
soup.
日は豚骨スープの作り方実践編ということで実際にスープを取るところを、お見せしていきたいと思います。どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。今日使う材料です。
So
今
you'll
日
see
使う
the
材料
different
は
parts of the pork.
今日は背骨だけで
The
作りま
pork
す。
bones with the
Semone
meat
です。
on it.
でこれは、割とこう肉の旨味が一つであ
Back.
る。
Backbone.
そしてこれが豚足です。
The pig's feet,
これは、ゼラチン質が多めに
rich in
含まれていま
gelatin,
す。
so collagen.
そしてこれが背脂です。
The pork fat,
これは
back fat.
この油の旨味が、特徴の部位です。
You get a sweet umami from the back
骨の洗い方をお見せしたいと
So
思います。
washing the noodles,
まず、
washing
ポイ
the
ントにな
noodles.
るのは、あまり、強くこすったりとか、長時間水で流したりする必要はありません。
So just soaking in the water here.
背骨です。
So the pork spine, just a light
ほ
rinse.
とん
You
ど
don't
この、
have
背
to
骨
wash
の
it too
間に
hard.
髄が入っているので、この白いのが取れないように気をつけてください。で、豚足も
Pork feet,
こういった感
pig's
じです
feet.
ね。背脂も
The
軽
back
く両
fat,
手を洗い
just
流
rinse
すことで
lightly.
いいです。と背骨ですね。背骨を入れていきます。
Spinal cord with the spine.
倒します。で、点火をしてお湯が沸いて沸騰してくるとアクが出てくるので、それを丁寧に取っていきます。
So bring it to a gentle
こ
boil.
のくらい沸いてきたらまず1回目
So the scum has come up, so you remove the scum. And look at the color of the scum too, because that will change as you cook it, so it's a lighter white color now.
Just like making stock.
Yes, yeah, but no
No
onions and
vegetables, right? It's just meat.
まだ野菜入れないです。野菜はまだ入れてない。
まだ
Yeah, no
はい
vegetables, yeah, just like meat.
で、これは一度また捨てて水をかいて
So
どん
give
どん
rid
戻
of
していき
the
ます。このスパテラを使って
So also he has a big wooden spatula, because it's a very big deep pot, so he's stirring up.
またアクが一気に出てきます。
And then you'll get more scum will come out after you mix it up here. Can you see the color of the scum is changing, so it's getting a little bit darker. さらにこのアクを取っていきます。 And then again, you want to remove the scum. これ水で減らしたらまた水入れる？
そうですね。大体30分から1時間ぐらい、取っていくとこの茶色いもの、
So you see the color of the scum has
青
changed.
です
This
ね。
is about 30 minutes
白
or
い
an
泡
hour
にな
into
ってい
boiling.
ってこの茶色いのが出てこなくなります。そうするとそこで血抜きが終了になり
And
ます。
you can see once this dark scum comes out, you've taken the blood
ア
out
ク
by
が
now. It's
出てこなくなったらこれで血抜きを終了します。
So now he's done removing the blood. Yeah, he was saying when he boils, he adds the water at this point, so it's concentrating, but he's still adding the water. So he's maintaining tender. So now he puts in the pork fat.
もし野菜を入れるには
If you want to add vegetables, this is the point that you add the vegetables.
はい、そして、これが豚足です。
The pork, pig's feet.
He doesn't even cut them up or anything.
そのまま。
これですね、
Yeah, whole like that.
水を落とさずに何回か水を差しながら、これが、脱水
So
をキープ
he's keeping this high level of water, so this is where he's adding his water.
This is, yeah, the creaminess comes from everything being blended as opposed to sitting concretely. Emulsifies.
Yes, you want the hot water to make the
Yeah,
creaminess.
emulsification.
Then that was he was checking the density
こう
of
いう
it.
大体ブリックス4ぐらいまでしか上がらないので、
So it only goes up to bricks of 4, he says.
4までいったら今度は下げてブリックスを上げる。ブリックスを上げ
So
る。
he brings it to a density of 4, and then he concentrates it, and then it'll get to a
豚
density
足
of
が
6. This is
ずれ
gold.
て
So,
きてる。
今日の
スープは6の。
so today we're gonna have the thickest
もう背
density
骨は
of
ほとんど
6.
つなぎが取れてバラバラになっている状態ですね。じゃこんな感じでスープが、水位を下げない状態で、濃度が4まで、いきましたので、あとはこの後、水位を下げながら濃度6まで、持っていきます。
So he's
今
can
回のス
check
ー
the
プの完成
concentration
濃度は
of the
6
soup,
で
and
す。
so it's gotten to
大
4.
体、材
Now
料
he'll
を賃貸
concentrate that,
2
so
の
he'll
割合
get
で
rid
仕込
of
ん
the
でますけど
liquid
も、
in there,
どうして
he'll
も4分
concentrate
先
on
はなかな
the
か濃度が出てこなくなりますので、あとは水を下げて詰めて、濃度を上げていきます。はい、今4から6に向かって、
So now it's gotten to the
スープを詰めてい
concentration
る
of
ところなんですけども、スープの濃度が上がってくると、だんだん底が当たりやすくなります。あと、まで混ぜてるんで、背骨のカスなんかがどんどん出てくるので、それが下に沈殿して、
and he's making sure
そこ
nothing
で、
sticks to the
焦
bottom
げ
of
つ
the
く
pot.
っていう
So
当たる
it's
っていうんです
gonna-
けども、っていう状態になりやすいので、これ詰め始めたら、結構こまめに、よく混ぜて、下から骨を持ち上げるような形で混ぜていきながら、
Pretty much covered.
水位を下げて詰めていってください。
Yeah.
それでは、水を下げて濃度が6まで
So now it's got the concentration of 6.
中の具材もこんな状態
And
です。
of course, things have fallen apart. That's it.
で、濃度が達したので今度は、これで火を止めて
So now he turns
皿
off
を
the
こ
heat
していきます。
and he's going to strain the soup.
で、今
This is the shinwa here, the large
止め
pot.
てこの雪平鍋でこれを作ってこのシノワに移してシノワに移して
Scooping from the big pot to the smaller pot through the shinwa
でやって
with
い
a
ます。
strainer.
So would you call that already creamy because it's on the high heat, or is it still in process?
No, it's already, yeah, this is as creamy as it is.
はい。で、これいっぱいになったらなかなか落ちないんです。
So it's hard to get the soup through the strainer because it's got a lot of ingredients. So he taps to help get the liquid through.
で、大体こし終わったらこのからはこういう箱に捨
And
て
then
て
get rid of that and then start all over again. Continue.
このように
This is the next pot.
スープをしていきます。
Yeah, so he's, じゃあこれ3番目のことに2番目今。
これは1本だけで作る作り方ですね。
Yeah, oh, it's one way of making it.
これ1本で全部完成します。
So now he's making,
This is just a demonstration. He's not, you know,
Right.
he
Showing.
doesn't have three. This is just for
Just doing this,
demonstration.
yeah, just straight.
さらにスープが減ってきたらま
so
た
now to the bottom of the pot.
And this is on YouTube, so you're able
We
to.
can go back
You can
and
send the link.
これ骨もスープもすごく熱いので
It's very
気を
hot,
つけてくだ
so
さい。
you be careful while you're doing this.
How is he measuring the density again?
There's a tool called the no dosimeter.
じゃあそれではこれで煮たスープを今度は水で冷や
You
し
can
て
actually put it into the
粗熱を
ブリックス系についての質問です。
It's called a no-no thing.
はい
I don't know if that's
今日は
called
豚骨スープの基本的な取り方の実践をお見せいたしました。どうもありがとうございました。
I said thank you.
あるんですか
So this is the tool for measuring the concentration. It looks like the same tool that you would use for これさ濃度差を確認 It looks like the same one that you use for checking the grapes.
So it's like a bricks.
確認
そうです。
So it is the bricks, he said. My impression was bricks was only for sugar, but it's checking the
Yeah,
concentration.
You put the,
アマゾンで。
no, it's, oh, yeah,
It looks
that's
exactly
like a
the
bricks
same,
machine,
yeah.
あとはデジタルのもあります。
There's also a digital tool that you can use.
But that you need to put a little in the,
Yeah, you put the liquid
in
in
that
there.
little,
Yeah.
right.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Coffee.
Bricks, it's the same, it's interesting because the density is, and sweetness,
Yeah, これ I don't know,
it's interesting.
yeah.
It's cool.
No, so bricks is measuring sugar.
Yes.
This is measuring concentration, but I don't know if it's
Maybe the sugar
Okay.
just is
It's
a,
carbohydrate.
やっぱ糖を見てるんですか
right.
So there's like sugar coming out of the ingredient.
Right,
So
of
that's
course,
how they
natural
measure
sugar.
the density.
The density is a sugar measure.
まあ
Right.
水に対しての比重ですよね。
So,
It's really more
水がゼロだと
carbohydrates probably than sugar, because it's not sweet.
so thickness against the water. 次が新でした。
そうですね。これではい講義は終了。
じゃあちょっとここで5分トイレ休憩取ります。
So we'll do a 5-minute bathroom break.
The presentation is over.